All right, as we now start building out the actual profile itself, the profile page, one of the first things we'll look at is your profile picture or your photo. That's actually the first thing when a human eye actually scans for things, they kind of gravitate towards photos. So having a good looking photo is very important, a professional photo. And then later when we talk about resumes, CVs and things, we can talk a little bit about debate whether to include photos in those documents. But on LinkedIn, you want to include you want to include a photo on your profile. It's a little different than, let's say, a resume or CV. Similar, but different. So first off, with photo best practices, photos help with search. Actually, the LinkedIn system kind of defaults, or algorithms, at least what we know of that, defaults to images and defaults to things like having a photo in place. So once again, it's a social media platform in addition to a job search and matching people up type platform. So photos help with search. And also you want to make sure that your photo that you actually use shows you as your professional self, not as your personal self cuddling a pet or something like that. You want to show your professional self as a professional headshot. Whatever it is you do, it could be white collar, it could be blue collar, it could be whatever profession, but you want to show yourself as your professional self. If you're working construction work, you might even wear like a safety helmet or be dressed in that manner. You want to be dressed in the manner that's your profession. Dress professionally, have a smile, be friendly, have a smile, or at least a neutral expression, so have an expression there. A clean, simple background too. It doesn't have to be like a solid background like I have behind me, which is a kind of a photography or a video type background. It could be like in this sample here, a little bit of kind of blurred out type of glass type thing, or just some type of solid background. Could even be a wall. You can try and experiment with different things. But just that it's clean and simple and not distracting from your photo. Use good lighting, make sure you're lit up well in your photo, and then it's not blurry or, shaky or something like that. And you can use your phone, a lot of cell phone photos are good, or something with a better like DSLR camera, or you can even go to professional photographers who will take your LinkedIn picture for you and get you all set and have you look very professional. And that's a good thing too, but you can do it all yourself as well. Same thing with photo editing, to crop and frame your photo so it fits into the LinkedIn thing, so you're not cutting off part of your face or that's centered in a line, just like in the example here. And there's different programs you can use to edit photos, and some are very complex and some are very easy to use that anybody could do. If you have Photoshop, or if you have a professional, editing type of photo software, that can work very well. It's a paid software, like Photoshop is paid. If you already have something like that, go ahead and use that, or go ahead and buy Photoshop. But there's a lot of great free stuff out there too, just free on the internet. GIMP is a free editing software for photos. It's got some really good advanced editing software or editing capabilities, and it's free. I mean, it's completely free, so you can do a lot of neat stuff with that. So if you don't have anything right now and you want to edit your own photos, try GIMP. Now one program I like too, and we'll use it like in the resume and some other things coming up here, is Canva. Is also free. You just go to just like GIMP.com. You go to Canva.com or search for GIMP or Canva. And Canva's got some good basic photo editing in there, and some backgrounds that you can put in, and some different things you can do too, and crop and all the things you need to do with a photo. So GIMP and Canva are some good free tools. And many cell phones too. Today they've got some basic editing capabilities right on your cell phone. So take a look at that, and maybe you can just do it all with your cell phone. Don't make a lousy looking selfie or something like that. Have it on a steady type of, either platform, tripod even, or just on some books. Have a nice clear, not blurry, not shaky photo of you. You could do on your cell phone and maybe edit it right on your cell phone. Let's take a couple of looks at some examples of some good photos, so you get a feel for that, but also for some bad ones too, which are always kind of a little bit interesting as well. So if we look at some good photos, some good photo examples, you can see on the far left here, this woman here, she looks like she's outside, so her hair's kind of blowing a little bit, but she's got a nice smile, got a real neutral background here, good lighting, and looks like her professional self. And the middle one here is even more professional, looks like an office environment, but nobody's really looking at that background or anything. They're really looking at her, that she's dressed professionally. Once again, nice smile, looks like her professional self. The gentleman to the right here, he shows that you don't have to have a big all white smile or something like that. He's actually got a more of a naturey background. Again, it's not a big deal, just so it's not distracting from the picture. But there's a nice background. He looks good, looks his professional self. He's not wearing a coat or a jacket. Maybe that's his professional self, whether you wear that. If you're a lawyer or a salesperson and your business quote uniform is a suit, then he may be wearing a suit. But if your everyday professional self is maybe as a as a technical person or a support person or whatever that might be, look like that. You want to look like the job you're applying for, or the type of job that you fit, maybe a little bit better, if anything. And then the one in the bottom left here, you can see, a good, little too browny for me, a little too many browns, I guess. But you know what? It's all neutral. He stands out, looks good. It's not about how you look as far as your own physical appearance. Don't look like that. Don't worry about it. You don't have to look like a model. You just need to look like yourself, and that you're friendly, professional self. That's it. People will glance at it, then move on. If it looks weird, your photo's weird, or not looking good, not cropped right, then that might stand out, and people might question your, attention to detail. Let's take a look at some bad photo examples so you can kind of see what we mean by that. And I've got them in groups here as far as some photos that would be not so good for LinkedIn. So if we look at this top row here, this is kind of like the vacation type photos or holiday photos, right? That a lot of people use. And with that, it's not really showing you your close-up of your face. It's not showing you your true professional self. If anything, it's communicating that, like, you like to go on holiday. So if I'm hiring somebody and I see some of these photos, I might say, wow, that woman likes to be on the beach. I'd rather have her in the office doing some work, So it doesn't really stand out well as for showing you as your professional self. Same thing with the next level too, where it's, you might like sports. You might like to play sports. That's great. Or do some active things. You might enjoy cricket or whatever it is. That's terrific. But that's not for your LinkedIn post, or your LinkedIn professional photo. Maybe Facebook, maybe something like that, but not for LinkedIn. You want those headshot professional photos. And then the bottom one, these are some of my favorites on the bottom here. If we look starting from the right, just to look at these little closer, you can just see some kind of things gone wrong. So we start with the gentleman on the right with the blue. He's got another person in there, half of his friend or girlfriend there. You see her on the left there. I mean, that's not good. You want just a clear, nicely framed headshot. And once again, with that, a little bit more of a expression on there. Now the guy to the next to him, he's got a nice smile or expression. It could be smile, it could be neutral, but he's not framed correctly. And plus he's not in a real neutral background, and I'm not sure what that jacket is. Looks like he's more out at a party or having some fun. Again, you want to be dressed in your professional self with your professional look, professional headshot, just like you saw in those other ones. If you're going right from left, the woman there, once again, she's got her friend kind of peeking in there, so that's not a good professional shot, and she looks a little, I don't know. But so that's her. And then my favorite, of course, is the one to the, and these are real LinkedIn photos. So this is from this website I got there, the source you can see there where they found these examples. Obviously, enjoying a cocktail or something, great for after hours, but not great for your professional self. I mean, you get the idea there. So you know what the idea is from these good and not so good photos. And so the key thing to take away from this is simple photo, your headshot, neutral background. Look at some examples for some inspiration. Don't worry about what you look like. You are who you are. You don't have to be a model, but you do need to have, a headshot that kind of communicates you as your professional self, whatever that may be.